Live from the Export Beer Garden studios and brought to you by Export Ultra, the perfect beer for a knock-off afternoon on a Friday. This is the Agenda Podcast for Friday the 17th of May.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Good morning, G-Lane, and welcome back to the podcast, Matt Heath.
So good to be here this morning, guys.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Yeah.
Monday was something you want to put behind us.
Yep.
It got a bit emotional in here,
did.
actually. It was actually the most acrimonious. Is that the wrong? Oh my God, have I got the right word? What's the acrimonious? Is friendly, eh? Unacrimonious.
Hostile?
It was hostile's the word.
Well, look,
the most hostile ACC experience I've been in, but that could have been a lot to do with how much I drank watching the Warriors on the Sunday
And the key-
and the hole I was in.
well, this is what the NRL are trying to do to us. This is what they're trying to do to us. They're trying to break up families.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Warriors losing streak's tearing families apart, and I want to apologise for my part of that. I was a man hurting. You came in here willing to bury the hatchet, and I dug it back up and wielded it against you.
Well, like when I
apologise.
left and I was feeling quite emotional, and we both said things. But then I thought, we'll always have Paris, me and Manaia, and I held on to that spark of the room that we shared at the Play Hotel, and I thought that we could never be angry at each other after spending that much time in our undies together and strolling around Paris together. And I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Okay, get a room.
All right, now that's all behind
Speaking of which, though,
We will get a room. We'll get another room.
Yeah, speaking of which, Paris, that was last year's Export Ultra Beer Garden tour. And who would have thought that Export would be keen to do it again?
Particularly because they were with us in Paris.
They saw what we got up to.
They saw everything that happened.
Eyewitnesses.
It was such a wild success that they're bringing back the Beer Garden tour, the Ultra Beer Garden tour. And what better place to go to than probably the home of the beer garden?
That's what I'd say to you, Manaia and Mike. Much better place to go to a beer garden studio than Paris, where there's... I mean, we've told the story a couple of times when the four of us walked into a bar, and Joseph Jury and that person and the bartender went, 4 shit lagers, I presume.
We're like, yep.
Yes.
Because they hate beer in Paris.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're going to Munich.
Yes, that makes so much more
So
sense.
we are going to Munich, and you got the chance to join us in Munich for a week. Just so happens to be on. We're going the same time as the October Beer Fest.
What a coincidence.
That is such a coincidence.
And when we went to Paris, it just happened to be on when the bloody Rugby World Cup was on.
What is going on?
What is going on? Anyway, if you do want to join us, text Ultra to 3236 right now and just follow the link, fill out the details, and you could be joining us in September, late September, early October in Munich, thanks to Export Ultra. So that is, I fear for my life. I logged it with my wife last night.
Yeah.
Let's just say I slept in the spare bedroom.
Is it wrong of me to be more excited about this one? I picture myself in lederhosen with a stein in hand.
Oh, yeah, it's so
Anyway,
good.
haven't I seen you in...
Yeah.
I've seen you in Lederhosen.
I've been twice. When I was living in London, I took tours over there, and hands down the best festival. I went to La Tomatina, bit rubbish, too many sex pests. I went to Running of the Bulls, again, just laden with sex pests.
Really?
Just Italians and Spanish dudes just getting real pesty. I went to whatever the other festivals are around Europe, and because there's like a top 5 you go to, and Beer Fest is one of them.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best one. Like by such a long way.
It seems to just really be what it is on the tin, right? You just show up and drink steins of beer.
And it's where beer festivals originated from. It's not, you think of a beer festival here and you think of a bunch of dudes with beards drinking 8% craft.
Yeah.
And then the odd guy just in the corner vomiting or whatever. It's not that. This is such a great party. Everyone is up for the party. The behavior is the best behavior because they have security that wear berets, black berets and black leather gloves, and they kind of stand in the corner, and they are the experts at spotting punishers.
Yeah, right.
And as soon as they can spot a punisher, even just before he starts punishing, they are out of there. Their feet don't even touch the ground.
I was in Germany in 2007. I was in Hamburg, and I was trying to go to one of these beer halls, and then one of the local Germans said, insulting, like one of those beer hall Oompa Loompa bands is not Hamburg, you know. but then I forced them to take me one. So I went to an imitation of one. But I also ran into someone in Berlin and I introduced myself and they said, "You're from New Zealand?" And he said, "New Zealanders, they caused all the trouble at Oktoberfest."
Yeah, there's a certain tent you don't want to go to. Is
there a tent where they put like wood chip down for the Australians and New Zealanders?
There is one, and it's got a big rotating pig in the middle of it. And the rule is after a certain time, everyone's undies get ripped off you and they get thrown on the pig. And the pigs, it's just, you don't go to that tent.
You don't go to that tent?
You don't go to that tent. There's one tent that fits close to 20,000 people in it.
Jesus.
Wow.
And
that's a big tent.
It's not a tent, really. It's a structure. It's a temporary structure, which has got a mezzanine floor, like a second story. It's unreal. Like, so text Ultra to 3236. This is going to be the ultimate beer garden tour. So get onto it. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this one. The PGA teed off overnight, fellas. We are on a bachelor Rory McIlroy to win this one. Because, of course, he's just settled his divorce with his longtime partner. Hasn't won a major during the tenure of his marriage. And so there's a market without Scotty Scheffler. You can take Scotty Scheffler out of the field and then bet on the rest of the field as if Scotty Scheffler didn't exist, which only takes $1 off. So we're on Bachelor McIlroy.
So what's your theory on that, Manaia, in terms of sex and sport achievement?
Yeah.
Do you achieve better when you're in a happy, missionary position, the lights out, sort of between the weather and the news and the weather kind of situation, or is it when you're Tiger Woodsing it and you're all over the shop? Because that's I imagine he's just recently that's where the position he'll be in, won't it?
100%. Yeah, we talked about it earlier this week. Him and Tiger will be linking up on the 19th hole, 20th and 21st hole, and I think that the biggest stress that I have and the biggest detractor from my game when I play golf is the passive aggression from my missus being like, when are you going to be home? How long does this go for?
Really?
Don't get wasted out on the course. Don't get wasted in the parking lot.
Do you still get that at PGA level? Do you still go, how long are you going to be out with your boys?
Absolutely you do.
Absolutely you do. When are you flying the jet home? I was like, I'm just sticking around for a bit. No, come home. You said you come home.
Yeah, 100% you do. Some things never change. Money gets more, your problems stay the same. They just grow and scale. So I think he's going to find something in himself, Bachelor McIlroy. And so I think And he's off to a flyer as well. He's 5 under through. He's just finished his first round.
Do you reckon he gets the eyebrows like that first meeting in the changing rooms at the USPGA from Tiger? Like,
bro. There's that meme of Tiger Woods reaching out, just going big dog, and he's about to shake hands with someone, and it's just going everywhere on social media. Him and Rory seeing each other. It's like, here we go.
But when Tiger didn't, before Augusta, Tiger said, "I'm not going to have any sex." Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't really pay off for him, but I mean, maybe he had the headwinds of just basically being disabled now.
Yeah.
But I thought it was weird what he was saying for focus, because I imagine if I wasn't having any sex at all, I'd be 100% focused on sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why his performance during that, I think, 6 or 7 year stretch.
Yeah.
That was when...
Because sex was out of his mind because he was having so much of it. He was getting rid of that distraction.
That was a foregone conclusion. It's how's the golf tournament going to go? That's what he's worried about. Whereas the other way around, completely changed it. Xander Schauffele set the course record at 62. I think this course record was 63 at 9 under. Ryan Fox finished. He finished tied with Tiger. Unfortunately, they're both 1 over. I saw an interview with Ryan Fox last night saying that he sort of thought that the PGA Tour is not what he thought it was going to be when he got on. Because you know how they've changed to where there's like flagship or major events, not major events, but what do they call them? There's like elevated events that they have, and there's like a different amount of events that he's automatically qualified for. So when he was trying to get onto the PGA, it was like top 50 guaranteed, you're in all these tours, events. Now it's only top 30 for most of them, and he's just like, I don't know when I'm playing next. This is kind of shit from a work perspective.
You reckon he wants to get back on the DP tour?
Maybe. Although I do think that if he made the cut this weekend and then had a good round, that'd probably change his opinion. Winning's the best deodorant, isn't it?
And also bad news for you, Matt. Jeremy Wells is doing quite well. He's in the clubhouse at 2 under.
Wasn't he paying
$1,500?
Yeah, he was paying a lot. I mean, I think if you got on, because the TAB now have got so many options on the golf now that you can bet on. Obviously if he makes the cut, if they don't make the cut, you can do matchups and everything. So, against all odds, Jeremy Wells is actually not too bad.
Oh wow!
And
no, that'll come out over
It's only day one.
It's very easy to be doing well that quickly. The horse, the Jeremy Wells horse, did that get shot? Did that get put down?
I know. I think it's
the trotter. Is it still
still trodden? I think you don't shoot many trotters, do you? Because that is kind of.
They just keep going.
They keep going.
Or do you put new silks on them and call them the same horse?
Yeah.
There could be a bit of that going on with Jerry Wells. It does seem like a suspiciously old horse.
He's very omnipresent, isn't he? It's getting annoying. It's just popping up everywhere. He's like there's one version of him on TV1. There's another version of him on the ACC. There's another version of him on Hodaki.
Yeah.
There's another version on a racetrack.
And sometimes he's a horse.
Sometimes a golf player.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He needs to decide who he is. He needs to take a good hard look at himself.
Yes.
Let's take a quick break, take a good hard look at ourselves. We'll be back to talk about Netflix. Netflix, fellas, has shelled out $150 million, which is about 300 NZ, like $150 million US, to broadcast both Christmas Day NFL games. This seems like an eye-watering amount to me. This is a 3-year deal, so it's every Christmas for the next 3 years. As I said, both games, and they are trying to make themselves the global home of those two games.
So that's the situation where it'll be Netflix everywhere?
Yep.
Wow.
So now we can watch them. If you've got Netflix, but you don't have whatever Sky or whoever's broadcasting it.
Yeah.
I was reading about Netflix. It's like, and someone was writing about the fact that they're a very interesting company to follow because they keep doing stuff that they've said they're definitely not going to do. Because they said they were never going to bring in an ad-funded subscription model.
Yeah.
November last year, they've got an ad subscription model. And they also said they'd never get into sports. They've just signed a boxing deal, the Tyson boxing deal. They've just signed this NFL deal. But as we talked about before we came in, how good on Christmas?
Yeah.
Watch this, and then you go and watch Bruce Willis throw himself off the or throw Hans Gruber off the.
It might become the Boxing Day tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the Boxing Day test.
Oh, that's a good point. It's on Boxing Day for us.
Yeah, it's Boxing Day, it's a fantastic way to spend a Boxing Day.
It is.
But I mean, how many? The NFL's all over the freaking shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got Thursday, you got the Sunday games on one network, you got the Thursday games on another one, you've got the Monday games on another one, you got the college games all over the shop anywhere.
And did you see that they've announced the European leagues as well? So they've got one, and South America. They got a game in Brazil.
Yeah.
They got 2 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, and they've got 1 in Hamburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great.
But you think about like league and rugby union trying to reach out to the world and go, can we just get a slice of the pie? And it's like, nah, the NFL is coming for your pie. You might want to protect your pie at home because you might be doing your little games over in Las Vegas and you come home and you've got, Tom Brady eating your mince and cheese.
Oh yeah, his face full of cream pie.
Did you see Tom Brady talking about how much he regrets the roast?
No, I didn't.
I saw an interview on the Pivot podcast yesterday, and he's like, how dumb was that guy?
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't mind when they were hassling me, but when they went after my ex-wife and my family, I just felt bad for my kids. It's one of those things where you go, I'll never do that again. It's like, what the fuck, dude? What did you expect to freaking happen? You got the most ruthless people in the room to no holds barred.
Yeah.
And they just went so hard on his wife. And it was
they're
like
competing against each other as well. So they have to say the most fucked up shit.
Sometimes I think he's the smartest guy in the world, and sometimes I think he's the dumbest guy in the world.
Yeah, we watched the roast of Pamela Anderson recently.
Oh my God, that is brutal.
That's what anyone. That
has got the most brutal line ever, and I think it's Andy Dick, and he said to Courtney Love in that roast, "How come?" This was 5 years after Kurt Cobain was dead, and shot himself in the face, and she said to Courtney Love, "How can your ex-husband be looking better than you do now? He's been dead for 5 years, and he shot himself in the face."
So Tom Brady signed up for one of those and was like, how come everyone said real messed up shit to me?
So that's what I mean. Like, surely if you sign up for that, the first thing you do is show them the Pamela Anderson roast. That is.
And that one, because there's collateral damage all round. Even being on the panel, Courtney Love was just there.
She got absolutely peeled.
She was so wasted.
Yeah, she didn't know she was there.
Yeah.
Chuck that one on in the background if you're pre-gaming to go out on a Saturday night. Just have that on in the background and watch that.
I was annoyed watching that whole podcast with them talking about it, and at no point did the host go, what the fuck did you expect to happen?
Yeah, what did you think that was? Like this is your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You would think, we're just going to go through my career and tell a few jokes.
Yeah.
No, they're going to get super personal.
It's because what he would dwell on it would have been so different from everyone else. He'd dwell on like a fumbled pass or an intercept or something like
or
that.
a deflate gate, and he was happy with that.
And what he didn't realise is that these guys don't watch sport. So they don't even know that happened. They're just going to shit on you and your family and your missus cheating with the karate guy.
I find that stuff quite hard to watch. It's so freaking brutal.
Yeah, they are full noise. But back on the Netflix thing, should rugby try and do? You said before, should rugby try and do something similar to this? They try and get on Netflix, or I don't know. What, is there?
I think their big plan now is to down the track is to get their own app, because I watch all my American sport on my apps.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, but how do you get it? Like, is Netflix the kind of thing where you'd stumble across rugby and you start watching it if it was on?
No.
I mean, live sport is the future of television, broadcast television. So this will really piss off broadcast television, because they're like,
this is all we got.
Netflix, well, this is all we got, and you're going to take that as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's a global platform, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the only advantage. But, I mean, we always have a discussion around the rugby union are going to have to renegotiate their contract with Sky at the end of maybe next season, I think.
Yeah.
And with no Spark Sport, because last time they renegotiated, remember, Spark Sport had just punched the cricket.
Yeah.
And they were sniffing around NRL, and they were sniffing around rugby.
Yeah.
And so Sky threw everything at it. Now there's no Sky Sport.
Yeah.
Spark.
There's no Spark Sport, sorry.
But TVNZ would be, once they've got over firing everyone, then if you were TVNZ and you wanted to have a future, I reckon live sport is the way to go. If you ponied up for rugby, imagine just when cricket was suddenly live to air, how much more interest there was in cricket. Imagine.
I don't think I'll pony anything up. I think potentially the best option would be a non-exclusive rights deal where we talk about maybe Friday Night Footy is on TVNZ.
Yes.
Every Friday Night Derby is on TVNZ for free, and the rest are behind the paywall on Sky.
Yeah, Sky they're doing all those kind of cut-up jobs with the NFL, as we were saying before.
How good would that be?
Yeah.
It would be great.
They're all local derbies.
Yeah.
It's the New Zealand one. And then the Australian guys on Stan Sport, they have their Australian derby on a Friday night.
Yeah. Cut it up.
Yeah.
We've been really simplistic in our contracting, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's like all in on one broadcaster.
That's because they paid so much for it, though.
Yeah.
They paid so far. They gave them a slice of the company.
Shit, that would be good. And I know you probably guys talked about it quite a lot, but how good was afternoon rugby on last Sunday?
Yeah, it's tremendous.
It was tremendous. I think the government, this is my plan, and it will never happen, but the government should force there to be free-to-air television.
Well, Aussie does.
Free-to-air, like they do, and force the rugby union to play games in the afternoon.
And televise
and to grow
them.
the game for the good of the nation.
Yeah, and televise them on TV. The only problem is...
And shoot anyone that disagrees.
The only problem with is those afternoon games are the least watched ones on TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's where you have to do the balance.
But it's like we've all talked about it before, but it's going down the sinkhole, because unless you have people coming to watch the games, then the game disappears and you don't have fans going forward. But at some point, you just got to take the hit and put the plug in it and get bigger crowds and get more people involved.
Yeah. Sorry, Lane.
I know. I was going to look at this. I've just on the rundown here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got it here. Old Dino Kane.
Yeah.
He had a fall.
He had a fall at his house in Waiheke. He sadly passed away just yesterday. Only 61 years old as well. But I didn't really know too much about Dino Kane. But you knew.
Oh, I didn't. I know much of him. But when I was growing up,
you said you knew everything about him.
I didn't know much about him. But when I was growing up, because obviously this is like early 90s kind of period, late 80s, early 90s. Not a lot of television options, but he was big news when he came fourth in the snooker world champs over in the UK. Playing with Hurricane Higgins and like all the big
and the guy with the upside down glasses.
Yeah, and it was Dino Kane, and like he was probably one of the biggest names in sport in New Zealand. There was Buck Shelford. There was a few others. There was Susan Devoy, and there was Dino Kane. It was. He was like, and I always, if you've ever said how many snooker players I'd say one, Dino Kane. Even though I haven't heard or seen anything of him in 30 years.
But they used to have Pop Black on the
Sundays.
On the Sundays on the TV.
Yeah.
Prime time snooker.
That was the upside down glasses guy.
Yeah, the upside down glasses guy.
I love how.
So are you familiar with the upside? You're too young for upside down glasses guy because he was so snooker. He had glasses that went like up like this.
Because he's leaning down, so he could see through. So when you lean down to play the shot, it's so the lens would go up over your eyebrows,
it's like a control tower at an airport.
Yes,
it has to be on a lean for when you're looking down.
So that's really unfortunate that you're 61 and you have a fall and you're dead.
That's terrifying stuff.
That is terrifying.
So Vale, Dino Kane, yeah, I just saw the video that Lee posted where he did one of his ridiculous videos with Dan O'Kane.
Yeah.
It's like that is brilliant. So yeah, we lost a good one yesterday. On to brighter stories. And we talked about it yesterday ad nauseum. We talked about it at great length.
He's got his
That's
glasses.
what we're doing. Glasses,
Yeah. Do you just search upside down glasses and they come up?
Yeah.
His name's Dennis Taylor. I just put an upside down glasses guy and it came up.
I thought that he had like specially made ones. Those are genuinely just upside down.
Yeah.
The Knicks,
Yes.
they're the hottest ticket in town. They are playing tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Where will you guys be watching it? Do you have a plan? What's the go?
Tomorrow night at 6:30. Well, look, it's a little bit difficult for me. Obviously, the rugby's on at 7.
Yes.
And that's a good game, actually. That's the Highlanders Blues.
It's Matt Heath Bowl.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Matt Heath Bowl. It is he's a Blue Lander.
Yep.
Got my tickets.
So what are you going to do? You're just going to have your Blues hat on, your Highlanders shirt, and then just whip it off when you're losing?
Last Sunday, I went along with my Blues scarf and Highlanders cap.
Yep.
And Blues shirt. This week I'll be going with my Highlanders shirt
Yeah.
and Blues cap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm always going to support the Highlanders over the Blues. I just support the Blues just enough to get invites to corporate boxes.
If I were you, I'd go the Phoenix shirt.
I'm glad you.
Oh yeah, the Phoenix shirt.
Yeah, go the Phoenix shirt. They're like a Blues hat, maybe some sort of Highlanders jersey. I think we've got one here. So that because the Blues, the Highlanders are playing at the same time as the Phoenix.
Oh wow.
So
And they'll definitely be playing it in the box.
And then ask them to put the TV on with the.
Then that way you can watch both games at the same time. And in the last 10 minutes when it's coming down to it, it's Phoenix shirt off.
Yeah, spinning it around. That's going to be fireworks. That game, that game at the Cake Tin, nearly sold out.
Yeah, that's for 500 tickets there for saying. We were talking to Piney yesterday about it, and he was saying that there's 500 tickets left, but it's like you can only buy a ticket on your own. There's no tickets together.
So it's a no mates discount.
Yeah, but 500 empty seats in that stadium you're not going to be able to see them.
Well, are you worried that the Phoenix are going to get freaked out? You know, like a horse when you take the blinders off. They're suddenly seeing all these people there. There's no yellow seats, and then they start feeling very uncomfortable.
Get spooked.
No, I reckon it'll be the opposite. I reckon they're going to get up, and I reckon they're going to be super hostile against Melbourne Victory.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Melbourne Victory lost by having that 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Because that just opens up, and the Phoenix have a great record at home.
I want
season.
Wellingtonians, and this is very un-Wellingtonian because they're all just bureaucrats and sucking off the teat. But I want them to park outside the Intercon is probably where the team's staying.
Yeah.
Or Ridges. Full South American. When New Zealand went to South America for a playoff, people were outside the hotel letting flares off and on the horn all night and playing the Macarena and just flares all night. I want that. I want that from Wellingtonians.
Be good fun piss up too.
Yeah, can the rail people, the people that piss around on the motorway and shut the motorways and the trains down there because they want more trains or something?
Yeah.
Get those guys just to refocus for the weekend and just disrupt the victory.
Yeah, what are the Free Palestine lot up to?
Yeah, get them along.
Down there.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, this may seem over the top and draconian, but just mention that there's someone from the IDF is there's a meeting with the government around New Zealand supplying arms to the IDF, and they're staying at this hotel. You get that out there. You get that information out there, and those guys aren't getting a second sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard that the Melbourne Victory are actually sponsored by a major Israeli weapons company.
I also heard they're installing 6G cell phone towers there and vaccinating people in the basement. So I reckon if you've got an axe to grind, go and grind it outside the Melbourne Victories.
Just a full super protest.
Yeah.
There's
1080 in there as well.
1080s,
The place is riddled with fluoride.
Yeah. They're bloody spreading Didimo around. They're killing off all the tar. What are we going to do? I think we're onto a winner there. Spread that misinformation. Nick's kicking off 6:30 tomorrow. It's going to be a tough one. Me and you, Lane, I think are commentating the Blue Linders Matt Heath Bowl, or at least I am at this stage.
Yeah, I actually think Tony Lyle might be coming in representing his Highlanders blood. I don't know. I may be. I'm doing the Canes Moana tonight.
Yeah.
Coverage also always brought to you by Max Raft for our Super Rugby coverage. Getting to the pointy end of that, so I could be in. I probably will be actually.
Tight game tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Tense,
turgid.
It's going to be 101.
It's going to be a blowout.
1 cent.
Turgid 101.
1 cent, Hurricanes.
All right, let's take one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
On Monday, when you came in, Matt, before things got heated, you came in cap in hand and asked for a penance for the Pinot Noirs, and we were flooded with voicemails on this topic. I've siphoned through them to find the two most poignant and most appropriate ones to play. And so, without any further ado, here they are. Caller number one, yours, please.
Yeah, g'day lads. Just a little idea for Matt Heath. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Get him to sit down with a couple goons of country red wine and have him commentate the game, or put him on the sideline at Mount Smart Stadium so he can cop a bit of abuse for it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's goon warriors.
This is
Immediately another pun. That could start a whole thing.
You've got to stop doing that. You see, you thought about it in your head there, and what you've got to do is just push it down. Just don't say it.
Let's Goon Warriors. We get a sponsor on board.
Let's go.
We'll start importing goon sacks.
Purno are the floor above us, and they do country casts. So they'll be down in a heartbeat.
They are. I actually did watch the Warriors with a goon sack a couple of weeks ago. Jesus, I was confused. I was confused by what was happening.
Bewildered. I like this. It's the catching your kid smoking a durry and then making them smoke the whole pack approach. It's like, you like red wine, do you?
Yeah, that's good idea.
All right, 2 casks then. Drink them all, and by the end of this, you'll be sick.
Yeah, I like that suggestion.
This one here was my favourite of the ones that came through this week. Caller, yours, please.
Yeah, g'day fellas. Stacey Coates here. Not to be confused with the Little General, but by fuck, I love a hooter just as much as that man. Penance for Matt Heath should be either one of two things: taking ownership of Adam Fanua Blake's dog, hopefully that should put us back on track, or taking a run straight from A to B.
Oh.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Are you aware of the beef between Manaia and
Why is it between me? It was you that was slagging him off in the video.
I might have called him spineless. But his dog is looking for a home.
Because he's moving back to Sydney next year.
And my argument was, that's pretty spineless. Take the dog with you.
Yeah.
You can take your dogs, but Trans-Tasman.
Yeah.
But they're trying to look for it. What is it?
They were trying to rehome it, but they said they were looking for a forever home. And then we were like, well, but hang on, you're giving it away, so don't tell someone else that they need to be a forever home.
Yeah, so they have to love it forever and respect it and look after it, but we can't be fucked with them anymore.
Yeah. And why it became a beef between me and him is because his missus saw our video, screenshotted me, put it on her Instagram story. It was like, don't take the piss out of us. So now I'm in a Twitter beef with Adam Fanua Blake. So I think if you were to take ownership of that dog,
you should stick with beefs with me. It's much less dangerous. I'm a much safer beef.
I don't know if you've seen that dog. That dog is it's basically Adam Fanua Blake as a dog. Like it is a day. It would probably chew Colin up, I reckon, in about 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, my dog Colin. So, but like, and the ACC hasn't reached out. I mean, you've got a lot of things going on. Like, we could get a dog.
Well, no, Manaia offered,
but
he just had a massive caveat in it as well, which was, I'll take the dog.
Yeah, but I want the Versace shirt he wore to the Deli M's last year.
So,
it's a $3,000
you're in a unique
shirt.
position to have a dog, with your missus being one of the world's global experts on large and strange animals.
I know. I mentioned that on the thing. Like, she, for a day job, trains rhinoceroses to do tricks.
So if anyone can deal with that dog.
Yeah, that's right. So I offered to take it, but then I think because of the history that now her and I have, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's taken off the
It's
plate.
unfortunate. Hey, also on the yours pleasers, we've had quite a few suggestions because we're also looking for a place to do our Export Ultra pre-game for the All Blacks in Dunedin.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's obviously Speightstown, so every place is Speightstown.
3 of us are going down for that.
Yeah, it's Speight's up the wazoo. So we asked where we could go, where we could build a place, where we could occupy a place. People were suggesting the Gardies. Gardies is actually gone, demolished.
No, it's a library now.
A library?
Yeah, study area.
We couldn't really go into there.
No.
Some people are suggesting the old Captain Cook, which is vacant.
The Captain Cook it's now a Nando's, is it?
Sal's Pizza.
It's a Sal's Pizza, and upstairs
it's a bar upstairs.
Called the Bog.
But it's empty.
It's empty.
Yeah, and some people suggesting
fire up the Cook.
The old Oriental.
Oh, the Oriental. God, that's dodgy.
That's turned into the Starters Bar.
Oh, right, yeah.
But that is empty as well.
Wow.
So the suggestions are coming thick and fast. The Morningside has been suggested, which we've had a few.
Oh, yeah, the Morningside. Remember?
No, the Mornington.
The Morningside in Auckland. The Mornington, we're sprayed around Scotty.
Yes.
No support for him. He was supposed to be support staff, and he was vomiting in the
garden at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
So keep those coming through for those people down in Dunedin where we need to go, because this is basically what we want to do is basically go down there and do a ultra pre-game before the first All Blacks versus England game. We just need a home.
Yeah.
So let us know where a good home could be, and we'll be down there.
Yeah.
Oh, how good.
And we have the power, we have the resources to resuscitate one of these bars for
Yeah.
one night only.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
DB's in behind us.
Oh, absolutely. They were like, we need to get down there. Let's do it. Whatever it takes.
Turning the Guardies from a library back into a bar might be just be honest. but
Yeah.
upstairs...
The bowler? Where's the bowler these days?
the bowler. Yeah. Boy, they really ripped all the bars out, didn't they?
Absolutely. ripped the
Otago
heart
University thought that if they got rid of the bars, the students would stop drinking. It was foolish. Foolish. The students now just drink at home and commit way more crimes than they ever would have.
They can drink more at home.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because you know, you can walk out of a bottle store with a whole trolley of 1125s of gin if you want.
Yeah.
And I had a suggestion also sent to me around what we should do at the pre-game. And what we should do is we should do something the night before on the Friday.
Oh, yep.
And someone suggested we do New Zealand's largest meat raffle and give away like $10,000 worth of meat.
Wow.
A herd of cattle.
Yeah, but give it away in like $1,000 lots to students.
Because you know we've all won meat raffles before, and then you haven't dealt with them that night, and then you carry them around, and you end up with a whole lot of meat you can't eat because it's been down the back of your pants.
How about a live meat raffle? So you just win a live sheep.
And you take the sheep home.
Take the sheep back to your flat.
What you do with it is up to you. That's a lot of admin.
It's a forever sheep.
What about only message if you're serious? What about when we won the meat raffle in the Bay of Plenty?
Oh yeah, that's right. At the Mount Maunganui Club.
Yeah, and who was it? The taco stand.
The Mexican taco stand cooked our our.
Shout out to who are they?
The rump steaks that cooked us.
Yeah,
Did
Anyway.
a delicious job as well.
that'd be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, send us your suggestions for that on voicemail, or you can text them in, DM us. I don't know. Mike Lane's number is 027. Other than that, we'll knock it on the head for today. Enjoy your weekend of sport. Look out for the ACC Sportsbook later on this feed as well. Commentaries tonight, tomorrow for the Super Rugby, and the Warriors are on Sunday as well. So
And hey, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you, Manaia.
babes. Love you, babes.
Love you, G Lane.
Love you, babes.
Who?
Love you.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.